observation. We're talking about being admitted to the hospital versus not being admitted to the hospital. Something that you would think would be extremely simple, which it turns out is not. Under observation status is a code the doctor puts on your chart that the hospital assigns to you when you are not sick enough to be admitted to the hospital, but not healthy enough to go home. Now, if you ask somebody that just got discharged from the hospital, were you admitted to the hospital? They're going to say, yeah, I was admitted. Duh. You know why I know I was admitted? Because I had on a hospital bracelet. Because I was wearing that gown. They put me in a bed, right? They fed me with food. They did labs and x-rays, and I saw a doctor, and all this stuff happened, and of course I was admitted. None of this is any indication that you were admitted to a hospital at all. And for those of you that are insurance agents, if you're admitted to a hospital, that falls under what? Medicare Part A. If you're not admitted, we always say it means you're outside of a hospital, right? That falls under Medicare Part B. So if you are in the hospital but not admitted, you are under Medicare Part B, which makes no sense, is contrary to everything we were taught. And if you're training new insurance agents, we say in the hospital, out of the hospital. No, you could be in the hospital on Part B. Makes no sense. Because you're the ones that are telling your client, now if you go into the hospital on this Medicare Supplement Plan F, you will pay what? Zero. It's a Cadillac plan. As long as you pay your monthly premiums, you will not pay for any other Medicare approved charge. Zero if you're in the hospital. What if you're there 5 days? What if you have stents? What if you need a knee replacement? What if you have sepsis? What if you... Doesn't matter. It's beautiful. You won't pay anything. What do you pay to see a specialist in the hospital? Nothing. What do you pay for all your medications while you're in the hospital? Nothing. What if you have to go to physical therapy? Nothing. So you tell them, hey, this is great. A Med Supp Plan F costs more. It costs more than a Med Advantage plan. It costs more than a Plan N. It costs more than a plan, every other plan. And you tell them that it's worth it because you have that peace of mind that you're not going to pay anything but your monthly premium. And then they tell you, look, I just got a bill for however much money. What the heck? Right? And if you ask them, were you admitted to the hospital? Oh yeah, I was admitted. I was there 5 days. How could I not be admitted? So insurance agents would get stuck on this gerbil wheel trying to figure out why this bill is not being paid. It needs to be in the front of your mind to figure out, were you admitted? Your clients are going to argue with you when you try to explain this to them because they are going to say, no, 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 no. I was admitted. They're going to come back to that bracelet. I know I was admitted. My doctor told me I'm going to admit you to the hospital. That still has no bearing. And many times, the doctor doesn't even know if you were admitted or not. So why does this all matter? This matters because of money. Hospitals fear readmission penalties. Okay, so this all came from the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, ACA. And part of the law in 2012 was to stop the cycle of readmissions, of people that go in and have something done and then go out and they have to keep coming right back in, that cycle of readmissions that costs us, the taxpayer, a lot of money. So they said, this is a problem with Medicare. We're going to tackle it by penalizing hospitals that let that boomerang happen. We want to stop. We want them to do a really good job at the hospital, really good discharge instructions, so that the client, when they leave, they know exactly what to do so that they're not readmitted for the same condition within 30 days. So readmissions cost hospitals money because of the Affordable Care Act. What are the ramifications for this policy all across the country of not admitting people? How does that trickle down to the Medicare beneficiary? How does that trickle down to you, the insurance agent, on the front line with this? Okay, so the one you're probably familiar with, if you're familiar with under observation at all, is the fact that if you have a Medicare they were admitted to the hospital for 3 overnight stays. This is a very expensive and frustrating topic that if you haven't had to deal with yet, you might have to deal with on your clients, and you might have to deal with yourself and your own family. Under observation does not count if you're not admitted. Now we get a little murky, because Medicare Part B covers your outpatient. You pay a copay, and it may be by service. Okay, so if you're admitted to the hospital, Part A, right? You don't pay anything. That's easy. But if you're not admitted and you're in the hospital, you're under Part B. And Part B has copays for all this stuff. So, it could actually end up costing you more under Part B than it did under Part A. It could also be cheaper under Part B than Part A. But the thing that overpowers that sliver of good news is the people that are hurt a lot. The people that are hurt pay a lot out of their pocket. So thank you all for joining me. Go forth and educate your clients. That's all we can do.